Alright. Hello everyone. This is Sailor Bacon. I'm going to attempt to do a multi-part series of Kerbal Space Program where I try and treat them as if I was actually doing a real space program with real people, which means I'm going to work my way up through different space launches, trying not to kill anybody. To minimize loss of life, I will do unmanned space flights. I know almost nothing about the game. I've seen a few videos, so you're gonna watch me pretty much learn the game, and to lose as little amount of life as possible, I'm going to start, of course, with unmanned space flights. My ultimate goal being to get on other planets, have a Kerbin synchronous orbit of a space station floating above the Kerbal Space Program Launch Center. But of course, I'm going to try and start small now. So I'm going to just try and do a launch that does not blow up the main command pod, and hopefully, maybe even have an unmanned satellite by this first video. I don't know. That's a little bit ambitious, but we'll see. So let's get this started. So I don't even know the main way to get started here, so that's how little I know about this game. I think I remember you can sort of click in here to get started. Alright. So let's find a pod that does not hold any Kerbals. I haven't really decided yet whether or not I'm going to try and do one that run that is based off of money, where I try and work my way up in money. That seems a little drastic, but let's see what we can do here. We'll start with this, I guess. Looks pretty cool. We're gonna have to get some fuel to get us off the ground. So let's get us a fuel tank. So we're gonna start really basic here. Fuck it, we're gonna go with this. No parachute. All of this is gonna be just $1 million. This is whoever funded this program just said go at it. Apparently, they're wasting their money, because this first test is just gonna quite literally be a waste. I have no idea what the staging, what direction it goes in either. But all right, we have to save this as something here, right? This is project first steps. This is our latest model. This is our lateral our lateral thruster model 1, aka project first steps. We will save it. If I didn't even know how to do that. There we go. Nope, can't save this. Is it that bad? It's that bad, I can't even save it. Can I even launch? Is it even gonna like... I was gonna say, this can't be launched either. Okay. Oh god. Alright, throttle her up. And... oh god, I don't even have like the thing from the tutorial that was holding it up, so it was nice and straight, but... alright, here we go. Here goes nothing. Well, that's actually pretty decent. It's actually going slightly better than I had planned. Too bad I couldn't get a parachute on this. To save all my to save my little Sputnik. See, now a parachute on one of these little things here is what I was going for. On one of these little ends. Just so it didn't completely crash into the ground. Now that went straight up and I didn't even try to steer it in any other different direction. Which probably wasn't the best idea in the world, because again, if I'm trying to play this even somewhat realistically, I wouldn't want my solid fuel canister crashing into my space center. But oh, the wings are taking it away, so that's good. That can be cleaned up. See, now no civilization in miles around, so I'm going to assume also that these Kerbals live underground. Pretty fair assumption, seeing as we have enough money and technology and scientific research to launch something almost 10,000 meters into the air. But no civilization to be seen anywhere on Kerbin, so yeah, we all live underground. That's my lore for this. Where it looks like this is going to land right on top of my runway command station, whatever that thing's called, the vertical takeoff command center. Nope. Maybe we're gonna land right on top of the building that created this monstrosity. That is also a complete possibility. Oh man. Oh god. Thousands of dollars of research. Millions actually, and oh, alright, that wasn't too bad. Maybe some debris hit the vertical research center. We have plenty of Kerbals to go and clean that up. We're very well funded, as I said. Let's look at the flight results for this. It was only about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. We achieved an altitude of almost 12,000 meters. Speed of 478 meters per second. We covered 674 meters of ground distance. We endured 5 Gs, which isn't that bad. I think, I'm pretty sure Formula 1 drivers experience a little bit more than that. I think, and I could be wrong on this, so everybody could laugh at me, but I think there are some roller coasters that experience 5 Gs as well, so... like I said, I don't know too much about Kerbal Space Program, let alone much about NASA history or any of the technology or research behind any of this, so completely new to all of this. So we're gonna learn as we go on. If that's interesting to you, then I hope it is. But anyway, let's see here. We achieved liftoff 30 seconds after that. Stage 1 was over, and we separated the rocket fuel. About 2 minutes later, they crashed into the surface of Kerbin, and then everything else crashed into the surface of Kerbin. Okay. let's go back. I don't even know what the tracking station is. Let's go there. Oh, okay. Yeah, see? We have to be mole people here because I see no evidence of life on this Earth. Huge crater, I see that. But I see no life on this, no civilizations on Kerbin. Which means we are definitely mole people. Alright. Okay, so this did save. Project First Steps did save. We have a completely identical version of it. I don't know why we would want to recreate this monstrosity. I couldn't even get a damn parachute on it. But let's see here. Don't go under there, man. Way too dangerous, scientists. Right now your life is worth more than anybody else in here anyway, because we're not going to be putting a mad person for quite some time. We need as many scientists as we can get, because clearly I'm lost. So my next goal is to bring something down safely with a parachute, but without putting anybody's life at risk. Is that even possible? Is it possible to put a parachute onto a saddle or onto an unmanned pod? Fuselage to connect to this. Oh, hey! WASD. Should have thought of that earlier. Alright. There we go. Yeah! Look at that. I like it. Connect that bad boy there. Okay. Now that, I have no idea how balanced that's going to be in terms of a parachute, but we want to... Okay, I assume that everything goes from the bottom up, so we launch our solid fuel, we decouple, and we parachute. So this flight's not going to be too much different from the first, except that we're hopefully going to be able to save our Sputnik, which will mean that money's not down the drain, research will be made, progress will be made, notes will be taken. And we're going to try and land this in the ocean as well. So I have no idea whether or not we have boats and stuff if we live in the ocean. That could be another reason why. There's obviously no there's no civilizations on top of any of the ground, so let's try this. Let's try this. We've got this. Here it is. Project First Steps. Now equipped with a parachute. I wish I was able to save that old one so I can literally document any changes, but I don't know. Maybe I'll have to look that up later. I literally, I mean, I did no research. I mean, I browsed the wiki a little bit, watched a video or two, but that's about it. I have no, where's the ocean from here? I think it's that way. Yes, okay, so we're going to want to steer in that direction, which I believe is the south. We are going to launch. 3, 2, 1, lift. Oh shit! Clearly the addition of the parachute has created some stability issues. I have no RCS or SAS. Those are to be researched at a later time. Thankfully, nobody's in this rocket. They would be very sick to their stomach if they were. Alright, we've decoupled, and it like went further than us. It continued to launch into the air because I did not decouple I decoupled a little too early there, but looks like we're going to successfully land our Sputnik, or something, I forget the name of it already, and Sputnik is definitely something else, but anyway, Project First Steps debris is way out into the ocean, where it is completely safe and not going to harm any of our facilities like the first one, and our Stay Sputnik, I think that's called there. There's the moon, by the way. There's our ambitions. There's our life goals over there. So how about that? How about that for some foreshadowing, huh? Anyway, like there should be a way to make the parachute its own thing as well, because clearly this is gonna be a long flight down. Our first thing was only about 2 minutes and 19 seconds, I believe. So this one should be quite a bit longer because 2,000, 2,500 meters above the surface of Kerbin, and the parachute is fully deployed now. We are sideways. This is the most... I don't know if I set a record here for being the biggest idiot that's ever played Kerbal Space Program. You know, barring anyone under the age of 20 who just, like, bought it out of a whim, had no idea what they were doing. I don't know if I'm the only one who's this inept, but actually aspires to do something great. Because this is probably the most lopsided, thrown together hunk of junk I've ever seen. And again, the limited amount of videos I've watched. Then again, I've been watching people who knew what they were doing, so there could be that. Maybe everybody starts out like this. I hope so. Make myself feel a little bit better. I might have to fast forward this. I don't know how that'll work. I don't know if Twitch TV will let me edit to that degree. I wonder if I can make a parachute on that side that just doesn't deploy. I don't know if is that too, like, is that just too impromptu? Is that too just on the spot kind of keep it simple stupid? I don't know, but we have landed in the water. I'd say that was successful. That was definitely some progress. We've managed to keep our multi-connector and our Sputnik intact, so we can use it for later developments, so that we're not completely throwing away the money of whoever was dumb enough to lend it to us. No, they were not dumb. We are furthering the Kerbal initiative to stop being mole people or underwater civilization, and to try and experience the amazing opportunities of space. That being said, that one was 5 minutes and 30 seconds. We only got to 7,000 meters as opposed to almost 12. I did release quite a bit early, as you saw. My debris went much further, much higher than my actual command module. So it was a successful flight in my book, because I definitely learned something there. So let's go back. Let's go back to the assembly building. Again, I'm not 100% sure why I can't save these. Oh wait, Project First Step, save there. Let's load that and see what that looks like. Okay, that was without the parachute, perfect. So with the parachute was Project First Alright, we might be spacebound. In case I cut this off, which I will definitely do because that was way too much time, here is project first steps 0.1.5. It's got 2 parachutes to balance the weight. It's got this big honkin' solid fuel and 2 more solid fuels of what we started with. So a lot of rockets, 3 rockets. We might be spacebound with this. If we are, I have no way of controlling this bit here. So it might just be space debris, which might be a little irresponsible. But if you consider the amount of space debris we have in real life, I'm gonna say that that's not like the end of the world. So I have no idea if this is even gonna help stabilize it right here. But if I did that, and I did that, I mean, that looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I like that a lot. As far as, I don't know if just because I created it, this is something only a father could love, but that's getting saved, man. That is awesome. See, I think I'm even just gonna delete all of these other pieces of junk that weren't created by me because I don't even want to be tempted to use something that wasn't a part of my space project. So anyway, we're definitely going to the launch pad with this one. Also, I don't know if I haven't mentioned this already, but I'm not doing any autosaves either. Everything is just how it happens. There's no turning back. If this thing were to topple over right now and just fall and explode, that is a part of this space program's history. So here goes nothing, I guess. Oh, hold on. You know what? I need to add a stage here because I want to decouple and then launch the parachute so that we don't have a terribly boring landing. Okay. I believe it is, throttle is up. The launch will be in 3, 2, 1, go. That is beautiful. Spacebound. We still have quite a bit of well, actually, the atmosphere's quite low now. It's getting much easier to control the spacecraft. We are slowing down. I have no idea if this is spacebound. If it is, I'm screwed. I have no SAS, I have no RCS. I'm gonna have no idea how to to control it. And my wings, which I really want to decouple at this moment. So now I'm completely uncontrolled. Man, you know what? That does not look enough over the ocean in terms of how I decoupled that debris. I don't know. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. We are losing altitude now, so we did not get to space. We're very high up, though. We're halfway there, or we're a little less than halfway there. I can't focus on that, sadly. I want to, but I can't. I'd love to see where that lands. I'm gonna hope it does not land on, oh, I don't want to make it a target. I just like to focus my camera over there. That's okay. We're falling very quickly, it seems. Gear is up and open. I don't know. I don't have any gear, landing gear or anything, so it doesn't really matter. Somehow we're falling quite a bit faster than. I guess we're. Oh yeah, we're much more aerodynamic, I suppose. That has wings and we don't. So I guess that's gonna glide. I should probably begin thinking about launching my parachutes here in a second because we're going very fast. So apparently it is impossible to launch the parachutes. I don't know why. But I cannot launch these parachutes. Not one of them. Which stinks because that's a setback. I will officially say that is a setback. We've gone higher up than we have before, but we're losing. I mean, the most expensive bit's up there, to be honest. So I suppose it's not a big setback, but I don't like that. I feel very unaccomplished. I don't know why I can't launch them. Maybe I waited too long and we're just going way too fast, or it's because I have two of them. But clearly I'm not allowed to launch these parachutes, so into the ocean. So the Hubble Max connector, the parachute, all that blew up. But our achievements were, it was 4 minutes. Our highest altitude was 31,682. So we're gaining distance. The G-force was lower. Not sure why or how. I mean, there was definitely a lot of weight on that thing. Our highest speed was 653. Okay. Catastrophic failure was the outcome, though. See, I don't like that. I don't like that. I was able to. Alright. My other bit did land in the ocean, though. I do enjoy that fact. That I like. So, we're gonna end the flight there. Here we have the rest of our stuff that has crash landed. Okay. So, back to the vehicle assembly building. Okay, this is gonna be, man, I don't even know. Let's say, I liked First Steps. This isn't, to be honest, this isn't too far from First Steps, other than the fact that we changed the top part. So, let's say this is still Project First Steps. This is 0.2. We have moved on. We have moved on to 0.2. I'm just gonna look at this one for. Yeah. That's definitely. I mean, they're definitely close enough. I'm gonna go with that. Now, I really hope that parachute. I don't know why I'm so hung up on that working and being the main part of this project. But I really do hope that that is what works. I really hope that's what is successful, is that this thing doesn't crash land. I mean, again, the majority of the money is in the bottom, is below this command module, but, you know, I don't know. It just feels like if something parachutes down gracefully, I'm successful. I don't know why, but that's how I feel. So, I believe we're going to launch this bad boy. And this will be... Are we on launch 3? Is this 4? I have no idea. The first one crashed, the second one was successful, the third one crashed, this is 4. Hopefully we can repeat our little sequence of events there and go on to say that this one will be a successful landing. We launched both rockets, and we launched both rockets, or all 3 rockets. We decouple and then we parachute. I'm going to take a risk here, and I'm going to try and launch the parachute at about the same distance from the ground as I did last time, because again, I don't know if it was the speed that mattered. So this launch is going to be 2 launches. I'm going to launch this, and I'm going to launch it again if it fails at a higher altitude to see whether or not it's the parachute failing because it doesn't want to open going so fast. That might be it. I don't know. So, I know parachutes don't tend to do so well at a certain speed, so we'll try that. Our launch will be in 3, 2, 1. Nope, we have to throttle first. Sorry. 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Out quite a bit earlier than my other one, so I might want to try and decouple those as well, because obviously they're just a waste of weight at this point. Looks like we didn't get quite as high as we did last time. Our speed's slowing down, so I'm going to decouple. We're still gaining in altitude. I don't think we've gotten any higher than we did before. I have no control over my command module, which is now slowly turning, which means I'm going to have to wait until it seems to be somewhat upright in order to launch my parachute. We're slowing in speed but gaining in altitude. I don't know if that can keep itself up. To be honest, if it does, that would be very odd. I'm going to go into my map just to see if we're orbiting by any chance. No, okay, my orbital path is just going to have it land right into the ocean, which is fine. Quite a bit of ways out. Like I said, I have no idea if there's the debris. Where am I? Oh, no, okay, we're both on the same thing. Just obviously, this is a very large representation, so we're technically both in the same area of influence on that map. Actually, yeah, we are very close to each other. As a matter of fact, I don't know how dangerous that is, to be honest. I mean, I have a parachute that doesn't. We're now dropping in altitude. Clearly, yes, we're on the bottom arc of our thing. So, man, I'm tempted to just deploy the parachute, but that would be, now that we're not going that fast. Well, actually, we're going quite fast now. I mean, I don't know if I should deploy the parachute at the top of the arc when we're at our slowest. Um, I have no idea if that's not if that's why our parachute failed the last time. It certainly could be, but man, parachute at 30,000 plus just seems like a very slow fall. I mean, I might actually have to do some research and see when Columbia activated its parachute on re-entry. But I don't know. They didn't have. I mean, well, obviously they were a lot smarter than me and did a lot more research. But that's this point. This is the research. This is obviously we're not in the billions here, so of money. We haven't wasted a lot of money. I've learned a whole lot since I started. So, and that was my goal after all. So we're going quite fast now. I'm going to try and launch the parachutes. Actually, we're slowing down now that we're coming back into the atmosphere. I'm going to try and deploy the parachute at 3,000 meters, see if that does anything. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know when a free faller, I don't even know when someone who parachutes for a living activates their parachute. That's how little I know. I'm sure our NASA team knew. Yeah, see, I can't launch the parachute again. So, I don't know if it doesn't let me do it too close to the ground, or if I'm just going too fast. We're actually slowing down for some reason. I'm not sure why. I mean, 80 meters a second very fast, but okay. No, I'm refusing to look up at what point the parachute should deploy. I'm going to find this out on my own. So we're going to go back to the Space Center. We're going to go to our launch pad. We're going to launch first steps 0.2. And we're going to do that same flight, pretty much exact, except I'm going to launch the parachute at the height of our arc. Actually, you know what? No, we're gonna do. I take that back. We're gonna do. Apparently, I'm draining electrical charge from my thing just by sitting on the launch pad. That's pretty cool. Well, I don't know how cool that'll be when I actually try and put something in orbit, and I need that to have power. But I know that there are ways to power that so that it can power itself for quite some time. So we're gonna try and decouple this now as well. Okay. This is, I don't know why it's launched. I assume it has to do with the orientation of how I have it in the spaceport before I put it out here on the launching pad. But it's not, it's obviously not symmetrical on the launch pad itself, which is interesting, to say the least, but not really going to make a huge difference, to be honest. Ocean is that way. We are going to throttle up, 200% throttle. I don't even know if that's bad. I don't even know if you're not supposed to do that, but oh well. Launch is in 3, 2, 1, liftoff. stay under any kind of control. We launched our parachute right at the height of our... Well, actually, it was probably... I don't know, because we're turning around so wildly. But yes, that was launched right at the... I don't even know how to pronounce that. The... Apopsis? Apopsis? But I have no idea whether or not that was what I was supposed to do or not. Clearly, structurally designed failure. Once I lost those wings, we went into quite an odd bit of turning. So I'm going to have to create wings elsewhere other than on those two pieces, because there's no way I can assume any kind of control with that. But good news is our OK202 command module will be intact, although it's definitely one of the cheaper pieces of our spaceship. I'm going to assume that the R&D for the command module was more expensive than just simple rockets. So if everybody's okay with assuming that as well, I have no problem doing the same. I think this last launch will be the end of this video, because my next one will focus on attempting to go into space. I might do... I might do one more. No. I think it's safe to assume that I just need to do the parachute at that apopsis, the time at which my rocket's going the slowest comparative to the ground. It creates for quite a long fall. I know it doesn't fully deploy until I'm at a certain height, which is fine. And maybe it's that height. I'm going to definitely write this down, because it's possibly that height that I can no longer turn back. I can no longer launch it from. So, although that's probably not true, because I'm already lower than that height before, and I was never able to launch it from there. So, as a matter of fact, this isn't fully deploying at all. That parachute is yet to fully deploy. Oh, okay, there it goes. But no, it didn't. Like, the 400 is definitely too low, and it wouldn't do it at 2,000. So I'm gonna assume that it has to just be launched at the furthest away, and I don't want anybody to tell me whether or not that's true. I'm sure if I put this into YouTube, everyone will say it anyway, but I guess I'll just have to not read the comments, which is probably the best bit of advice I can give to anybody posting any video to YouTube, to be honest. But that aside, this was successful. This was first step 0.5, I believe. A much better command module was attached, just to sort of overview everything here while we make our slow descent. I started with a Sputnik, way too round to actually put anything on. Couldn't put a parachute on the top other than that one parachute that can be put anywhere, but obviously it wasn't going to be put symmetrical. There's no way I would able to put that right on top because it was round. So I did that. I launched. I did not attach a parachute, didn't even try, because I couldn't figure out how to turn objects in the spaceport. But launched it, got fairly high, I think about 12,000 meters before crash landing. We decoupled, but then the bad part about that launch was the bottom part. The debris landed quite close to the Kerbal spaceport, which compromised its research facilities, to say the least. Second launch was much more successful. The debris landed plenty far away, and I landed safely in the water with a parachute. The third launch was not successful, I would say, because I learned a lot, but I was able to put I was able to put 2 parachutes on, but they didn't deploy. I deployed them too late. I might go back later on to do like a retro throwback. You know, obviously, whoever's giving us money has determined that this program is worth it, sort of thing, to go and test what would happen with those 2 parachutes if I deploy them both at the same time, or even just deploying one at a sufficient altitude for it to actually be able to launch. That might be something I do later. Obviously, at this point in development, realistically, it would be stupid to go back to an older model. But anyway, so then after that, I finally figured out that this is a much better way to put the command module, so that I could have the parachute on top. I launched that, but then I just assumed that I deployed the parachute too late, because this worked, this was successful, and it was much higher up, and it doesn't fully deploy until about 400 meters anyway, so it's fine. It doesn't fall too much slower, so it doesn't create too boring of a flight, and it allows me to not completely wreck my stuff. So as we see, we landed here. Landed successfully. I don't know where the debris went. Project first step splashed down, which is good. I know there's a way to save, like, I mean, obviously this wouldn't stay just like right there, but I know your Kerbals, or your Kerbins or your Kerbals can be, like, they can stay in one spot, so you can sort of see them later if you were to abandon them or whatever. You know, and save space stations, satellites. I don't know how to do that, or if that just is done automatically. I hope it is, but obviously I want this to go, because realistically someone would come out with a boat and take care of all this. But anyway, I should probably do that now, because it's turning sideways, which, if it was manned, would be a big deal. It's not, so not the end of the world, but anyway, this was the last one. After that other one didn't deploy and crashed everything into the water. Nothing crashed close to the space program afterwards, which is good. After that first time it did, the first launch, so obviously that was a success in terms of progress made. Same thing here. This was definitely a success. We got pretty high. I'll find out exactly right now. So we're gonna end this flight. It was 8 minutes and 32 seconds. I mean, probably a bit shorter than that because I spent a lot of time just floating in the water. The highest speed was 590. Highest altitude was 15,000. That's one thing I learned here. We obviously were not successful in terms of control over our rocket after I decoupled the 2 smaller solid fuel boosters. We lost control, which is not good. Not good at all. And we experienced quite a few Gs. 18, not sure if that would harm a person permanently. That's obviously what we're trying to not happen. So I still, of course, not even somewhat trust putting Kerbal's life at risk, because I haven't even mastered the basics yet. So, but overall, I learned a lot. We have our command module intact because the parachute successfully deployed. So that's going to be the end of this video. If you find this on YouTube, or you were actually depressed enough with your life to watch this live, then thank you very much. That should be the end of that.